If you need clients and don't have a reliable, repeatable system to bring clients into your world, this episode is for you. Today, I want to show you exactly how you can get started uncovering or discovering your own unique formula for client attraction. If you feel stuck in a rut, feel like you're not making progress, you need a system that's going to help you get out of that. My brand new 5-minute a day daily planning and continuous improvement system might be exactly what you need to get yourself out and to get yourself starting to make progress on what truly matters. Simply let me know where to send it, and I will shoot it straight through, absolutely no strings attached. Hello, and welcome back to the From Zero to Marketing Hero podcast. My name is Paul Heron. I'm a life coach. I'm an entrepreneur. I've been setting up my own successful coaching business over the last 5 years. But I'm originally from the corporate world where I specialized in cultivating, developing repeatable, reliable systems that could be trusted to produce reliable results. And the one thing I've learned is that whether it's in my personal life or my own little small business, this exact same mindset applies equally well. This podcast is all about me continuing to step out of my own comfort zone. I predominantly outsourced marketing over the last 5 years. And I recently decided this is the year I'm going to figure this stuff out. So my goal is to create, upload, post a podcast episode every single day over the next 12 months to not only document my journey, but to give you guys a little bit of an insight into my coaching methodology and how it all works in real life. So without any further ado, let's dive into how you can start developing and uncovering your own unique process for success, your own unique formula, and work out what that very next step needs to be. So what's the problem that so many of us find ourselves in? And I think it can be summed up with one word: uncertainty. We just don't know the formula. We don't know what is required to bring people into our business. We may even have some level of success, but it just feels random and ad hoc, and we can't replicate what has worked in the past to repeat those results. Doing work randomly, ad hocly, trying different things does not work, because what we're really trying to work towards is a place where we're much more certain about client attraction, about how we bring clients into our world. And we need to move away from the uncertainty that comes, the unpredictability that comes with not knowing how this stuff works. And you either know your formula. If you do know your formula, you will be very clear on what that looks like. For many of us, for myself, I've spoken a few times about developing a brand new formula that I have a little bit more control and responsibility over, which is the idea around this whole marketing show, I guess. But I've also spoken about the existing formula that I have. I've got a formula where I purchase leads, I start conversations, I bring those conversations into sales calls, and I close deals from those sales calls. And I know with a high level of certainty how many leads I need to purchase. I know roughly 12 leads equals 7 or 8 conversations, equals about 4 sales calls, equals about 1 client into my business. So I know with a high level of certainty, every 12 leads equals 1 client into my business. It's huge. It's huge knowing this. And everyone that I work with that has an element of certainty in their own formula, because it is very different for us all, but in their own formula, knows what they need to be doing. It drives us. We know how many leads we need to buy, or how many cold calls we need to make, or we know what those inputs are. We also know what the kink in the hose is that we need to work on. The data is there. The data drives our decisions, and it is just such a stark difference between the uncertainty of not knowing and the certainty of knowing. But where do we start? If you find yourself in a position where you don't understand your formula, we need to work backwards. We need to start with a hypothesis about what the strategy is that we're going to work towards, what the strategy is that we're going to apply. And there are many different ways we can take this. For me, in this project that I'm working through right now, I've decided on a strategy that, because of time constraints, I'm a bit time poor at the moment. I've decided I'm going to try and produce as much valuable content as I can. It's going to be value driven, but I am going to test what's working and what's getting traction with paid Facebook and Instagram advertising. That's the strategy that I'm going to apply. So there is an element of creating content, creating valuable content in the form of video, in a video format, 3 to 5 minute videos. My strategy is about creating content that is going to get 25% views at the most efficient rate that I can. My strategy then is to retarget those people who are viewing the longer form content with reels that are specifically promoting solutions to very small problems. And the strategy is to start conversations. And then from those conversations, hopefully move into sales calls and into people into my business. And there are many strategies. That is one. But if we haven't got a strategy, that's the thing we need to work on first. So working backwards, if you're not sure about what your formula is, you can't even adapt or start contemplating what a formula is until you've decided a strategy. So if you don't know your formula, ask the question, do you know your strategy? If you don't know your strategy, that's the place to start. Put some time and energy into learning, educating yourself, figuring out what strategy you want to apply. I've mentioned a couple there today. I've mentioned my new. I've mentioned bark.com, which is my old. There's a few different reasons why I'm moving or transitioning from one to the other. But there are many, many more out there. Keyword Google advertising, organic approach is a very powerful strategy. If you have more time on your hands than money to test out paid advertising, I would highly encourage starting with an organic strategy. And that will be some form of identifying who your ideal client is, identifying where they're hanging out online, whether that be LinkedIn groups, Facebook groups, Facebook pages, in-person events, finding out where they're hanging out and starting conversations. It's always going to come back to starting conversations. If you're particularly in a service-based industry, like I am, I'm offering a service to my ideal client. I want to help them make progress faster than they could make on their own. The thing that I'm still trying to work through is that formula that is going to help them become aware of who I am and to just start those conversations. So again, if you're unsure of your formula, take a step back, go to strategy. You need to decide on a strategy. Once you've got a strategy that you want to test, then you've got to start thinking about the missing pieces, the formula that you are trying to uncover. For me, and I mentioned this on an episode during the week, but for me, at the stage I'm at right now, I've already started to make a little bit of progress. I know that I can get 25% views for about 18 cents today. I think it's dropped a little bit again from where it was the other day. So roughly for every dollar I spend on advertising, 25% views. What I'm trying to work out this month is how many views I need to start a conversation. So what I'm going to be starting in the next week or so is retargeting my 25% views with various different short form reels that are promoting a very specific solution to a very specific problem. And that might be something similar to what I'm promoting in the start of these podcasts. It may be something different again. I'm going to test out a whole heap of different things. But I am going to start to get some data, hopefully, on how many conversations I can start per view that I get. So the pieces are already starting to come together. The pieces that I need to continue to work towards are how many conversations it's going to take to get a sales call booked in, and then how many of these sales calls with this particular audience is it going to take to bring a paid client into my business. So there are a few steps that I'm working through, but hopefully you can see that there is a problem or a formula that has a couple of missing pieces in it at the moment that I am actively trying to work towards, and that is my goal. So what should you be doing? If you have been creating content and valuable content, and you've been getting comments, for example, you've been getting engagement with those comments, I would absolutely be starting there. If your strategy is similar to the strategy that I am employing, it really is about working out what your solvable problem looks like and tackling the very first piece that remains unsolved. Go back to that very start of that funnel. How are people becoming aware of who you are? And start there. If it's an organic approach, how many conversations are you starting on a weekly, monthly basis? How many of those conversations are leading to a messenger conversation, for example? I think we need to just keep working our way back as far as we need to. So, as I said, if there is absolutely no understanding of what the formula even looks like or what we need to be doing, going back and reconfirming our strategy is definitely the place we want to start. Looking at that strategy that we choose as a hypothesis. We don't know exactly how it's going to work for us, but there's a solvable problem in there that we can start to tackle. And it's not about solving the whole problem in one go. It's about tackling the first element of that problem that remains unsolved. As I say, for me, last month, it was how I can start to get people paying attention to my message. Now I've got some data, I've got some information around that. I know that roughly 500 people have viewed 25% of my videos. Awesome. So I've now got this invisible list of 500 people that I can start to retarget a much more specific, very small offer to, in the hope of just starting conversations. And that's my challenge for this month, to just tackle that next piece. Hopefully I'll be back again at the end of this month with more data, more information, and hopefully I'll be on to the next stage of that solvable problem I'm trying to uncover. Hopefully I'll be at a point now where I'm getting some traction and I'm starting to figure out how I can convert them into messenger conversations, for example. That's my plan. I hope that makes sense, and I hope you've got some value from me talking this through. But wherever you find yourself, there is a solvable problem that you can start to hone in on and get really specific on and start to work towards uncovering one piece at a time. If this remains confusing for you, please reach out and start a conversation, because me going through this, a few reasons, this is what I do. I help people solve these problems in their life and help them identify the things that are most important to them and help them make progress. But it's really interesting me being back in the situation where I'm trying to solve my own solvable problem again. I'm trying to work out my own formula in this brand new realm that I'm tackling at the moment. And if this is you, I would be more than happy to share my thoughts, to get on a call and have a conversation, potentially even come onto this show and talk through, particularly, I'm just thinking out loud now, but if you are someone who has experience and expertise in this and you've made it this far in this episode, please reach out, because I would love to have a conversation, get you onto the show, help myself and anyone else who's out there trying to come up with their own formula, make that progress that is all important to them, hitting their longer term goals. So please reach out. The best place to find me is to head over to my website, paulheronlifecoaching.com. There's a few different ways you can reach out there, but make contact, reach out, let me know. If you are struggling to get out of your own rut, trying to find a way to start making progress towards your goals again, my 4-step continuous improvement process might just be exactly what you need to give yourself the kickstart that you need. Again, as I mentioned earlier, just let me know. Simply let me know. Absolutely no strings attached. I will send it straight through. It's got a ton of information. I've got a 5-minute video letting you know how to use it and how to make the most of it. And I'm sure that information in itself can really propel you towards starting to make progress towards what's most important. So reach out, let me know, and it's all yours. Finally, if you're enjoying the show, please take a moment to hit the subscribe button. It goes a long way in helping share the show with a wider audience. And until tomorrow, have a fantastic day. Bye for now.